Growing older is a blessing. Not everyone gets the chance to reach their 60s, 70s, or beyond. But here's something many people don't realize. While age itself is natural, the way we live has a huge impact on how long and how well we actually enjoy those years. I always say this, it's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. And the truth is, a lot of seniors accidentally cut their own lifespan short, not because of bad luck, but because of a handful of common lifestyle mistakes that slowly chip away at their health and happiness. That's what we're diving into today. The 8 biggest lifestyle mistakes shortening seniors' lifespan. Some of these might surprise you. Some might sound simple, but together they add up in a big way. And the good news? Every single one of these mistakes can be avoided or turned around if you take action today. So, if you've ever thought to yourself, why am I feeling more tired than I should? Or, how can I stay healthy and independent for as long as possible? This conversation is for you. You are not powerless. You can absolutely take steps to protect your body, your mind, and your years ahead. Let's jump right in, because I don't want you to fall into mistake number 1. The first mistake is something I see so often among older adults, and honestly, it's heartbreaking because it sneaks up on people without them realizing it. It's not moving enough. Now, I'm not talking about intense workouts or running marathons. I mean the small, daily movement your body depends on to keep your heart, muscles, and joints strong. Somewhere along the way, many seniors start slowing down too much. Maybe it begins with retiring from work and not walking around as much. Or maybe it's from an injury or simply the fear of falling. Before you know it, sitting becomes the default. Hours in front of the TV, long naps in the chair, less and less walking around the neighborhood or the house. The problem is, our bodies are built for movement. When you stop using your muscles, they weaken. When your joints don't stretch and bend, they stiffen. And when your heart isn't challenged with even light activity, it becomes less efficient. What happens next? More aches and pains, more fatigue, and sadly, a higher risk of serious conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or even dementia. I remember talking to a gentleman named Carl who told me he used to love gardening. After retirement, he thought he'd earned the right to take it easy. Instead of digging in the soil like before, he spent most of his days in his recliner. A few years later, he had lost so much strength in his legs that even standing to cook was a challenge. He said to me, "I thought resting was good for me, but it actually stole my independence." That hit me hard because he was right. Here's the encouraging part. It doesn't take hours at the gym to turn this around. Even short, consistent bursts of activity make a world of difference. 10 minutes of gentle stretching in the morning, a walk around the block after lunch, dancing a little to your favorite music while making dinner. These small movements add up. If you can stand up and sit down from a chair a few extra times each day, you're building strength in your legs that could save you from a fall. I want you to picture this. Every step you take, every time you choose to move instead of sit, you're literally adding days, maybe even years, to your life. It's like putting money into a savings account, except the reward isn't dollars, it's health, energy, and independence. So the first mistake is living too still, and the fix is simple. Just move more. Not perfectly, not like an athlete, just more than yesterday. Your future self will thank you. Now let's talk about the second big mistake. And this one? It's a silent killer. It's not paying enough attention to what you eat. Here's the truth. As we age, our bodies need fewer calories but more nutrition. Think of it like this. Your stomach might be the same size, but your cells are pickier. They crave vitamins, minerals, and protein more than ever before. Unfortunately, many seniors fall into patterns of eating foods that are quick, easy, or comforting, but not necessarily nourishing. Processed snacks, sugary treats, or heavy fried meals might feel satisfying in the moment, but they rob your body of what it truly needs. Over time, this can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, or nutrient deficiencies. And these, in turn, shorten your lifespan. I knew a woman named Teresa who lived alone after her husband passed. She told me, cooking for one doesn't feel worth it. So she often ate toast, canned soup, or cookies for dinner. Simple, quick, but not balanced. Within a couple of years, she developed severe fatigue and brittle bones. It wasn't her age that was stealing her energy, it was her diet. This is where I want you to really lean in. Food is medicine. Every bite you take is either fueling your health or draining it. And I'm not saying you have to give up your favorite comfort foods. What I'm saying is, crowd your plate with more of the good stuff. Fresh vegetables, lean proteins, beans, fruits, whole grains, and yes, healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. Want more energy? Add protein to your breakfast. Scrambled eggs, Greek yogurt, or even a handful of nut. Want to protect your brain? Load up on leafy greens and berries. Want to keep your bones strong? Don't just drink milk. Add calcium-rich foods like sardines, almonds, or fortified soy milk. And here's a simple trick. Whenever you make a meal, ask yourself, what can I add that's colorful and fresh? That small shift can make all the difference. I'll tell you something that might surprise you. Studies show that seniors who eat more fruits and vegetables live longer, even if they don't change anything else. That's the power of nutrition. So don't fall into the trap of letting food be an afterthought. Treat it as your daily medicine cabinet, because the right choices truly add years to your life. The third mistake that quietly shortens lives is something we don't talk about enough: social isolation. You see, humans are wired for connection. We thrive when we laugh, share stories, hug our grandkids, or simply talk to a friend. But too many seniors end up pulling back from social life. Maybe friends move away. Maybe family is busy. Maybe health challenges make it harder to get out. Whatever the reason, loneliness creeps in. And loneliness isn't just sad, it's dangerous. Research shows that chronic loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in for a moment. 15 cigarettes. It raises your risk of heart disease, weakens your immune system, and even speeds up memory decline. I once spoke with a retired teacher named Helen who lived in a quiet neighborhood. After her husband passed, she spent weeks at a time without real conversation. She admitted, "I didn't feel like I was living. I felt like I was just existing." Her health began to slip, not from disease, but from disconnection. The beautiful thing is, this mistake can be fixed with small, intentional actions. Pick up the phone and call a friend, even if you haven't spoken in years. Join a local community group, a senior exercise class, or even a book club. If leaving the house feels difficult, there are online communities full of people your age eager to connect. I've seen seniors light up just from joining a weekly walking group or volunteering at a local center. Suddenly, they had purpose again. They laughed more, they looked forward to the days ahead, and their health improved. That's the hidden power of relationships. So if you've been isolating yourself, let this be your sign. Reach out. Don't wait for others to make the first move. Loneliness is heavy, but connection is healing. And staying connected isn't just good for the soul, it can literally add years to your life. We've covered a lot so far: how staying still, eating poorly, and isolating yourself can quietly shorten your lifespan. But here's the hopeful truth. Once you recognize these mistakes, you can take simple, powerful steps to turn things around. Because here's what I believe with all my heart: it's never too late to change. Whether you're 60, 70, or 90, your body and mind are always listening to the choices you make. Every walk you take, every healthy meal you enjoy, every conversation you share, it all adds up to a longer, richer life. Now that we've uncovered these first 3 mistakes, let's continue exploring the other powerful changes you can make to protect your years and your health. We've already uncovered how lack of movement, poor eating habits, and loneliness can quietly shave years off a person's life. But those aren't the only traps seniors fall into. There are other choices, often small, everyday choices, that can create ripple effects on your health and independence. One of the biggest mistakes, and honestly one of the most overlooked, is ignoring sleep. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm older, of course I don't sleep like I used to. And that's true. Sleep patterns naturally change with age. But here's where the danger lies. Many seniors start accepting poor sleep as normal and do nothing to improve it. Tossing and turning at night, waking up multiple times, or surviving on just 4 or 5 hours of sleep becomes the new routine. The problem? Chronic sleep deprivation is like poison to your body. Without enough deep, restorative rest, your immune system weakens, your memory slips faster, and your risk of heart disease and even Alzheimer's skyrockets. I'll tell you something that might shock you. One study found that people over 60 who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours a night are at a much higher risk of early death compared to those who get 7 to 8 hours. I once met a man named Richard who proudly said, "I only need 4 hours of sleep. Been that way my whole life." But when we dug deeper, his constant fatigue, high blood pressure, and irritability told a different story. He wasn't thriving on little sleep. He was surviving on it, and his health was paying the price. The good news is that improving sleep doesn't have to be complicated. Small habits can make a huge difference. Stick to a regular bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends. Create a calming routine before bed. Maybe reading a light-hearted book, listening to soft music, or doing some gentle breathing exercises. And here's a big one. Avoid screens at night. The light from TVs, tablets, and phones tricks your brain into staying awake. Think of sleep like your body's nightly repair crew. Every time you cut that short, the repairs don't get finished. But when you give yourself the gift of 7 or 8 hours, your brain clears out toxins, your heart gets a break, and your energy soars the next day. So don't brush off sleep as just something that happens. Treat it as one of the most powerful tools you have for living longer, sharper, and happier. Now, the fifth mistake is one that often hides in plain sight: neglecting mental health. For decades, especially in older generations, there's been this idea that you should tough it out. That talking about stress, sadness, or anxiety somehow makes you weak. But here's the truth. Ignoring your mental health can cut your life short just as much as ignoring your physical health. Depression and chronic stress weaken your immune system, raise your risk of heart disease, and literally shrink parts of your brain. And yet, many seniors quietly suffer in silence. Maybe it's grief from losing a spouse. Maybe it's the stress of health bills. Maybe it's just the heavy loneliness we already talked about. Whatever the reason, the weight of it can be crushing. I'll never forget a woman named Margaret who shared that after her husband passed, she spent months without leaving her house. She said, "I didn't want to bother anyone with my sadness." What she didn't realize was that her emotional pain was also weakening her body. She had more colds, her blood pressure climbed, and she felt physically older than she was. This is why caring for your mental health is not a luxury, it's survival. And the fix doesn't have to be complicated. Start by acknowledging how you feel. Talk to someone you trust, whether that's a friend, a family member, or even a support group. If you need professional help, don't hesitate. Therapy and counseling aren't just for the young. They're for anyone who wants to feel lighter and live longer. Simple daily practices help too. Journaling, gratitude exercises, even a few minutes of meditation can lower stress and boost happiness. And never underestimate the power of laughter. Watch a funny movie, spend time with people who make you smile, or even laugh at yourself a little more. It sounds simple, but laughter lowers stress hormones and strengthens your heart. Here's the key. A healthy mind creates a healthy body. And when you invest in both, you're not just surviving your later years, you're thriving in them. The sixth mistake may surprise you, because many people think they're being safe when they do this. It's avoiding medical checkups. I understand the hesitation. Maybe you don't like doctors. Maybe you're worried about the costs. Or maybe you'd rather not know if something is wrong. But here's the reality. Skipping regular checkups is like ignoring the oil light in your car. The problem doesn't disappear, It just gets worse until it causes a breakdown. For seniors, small health issues can snowball fast. High blood pressure, for example, has no symptoms most of the time. You can feel fine while it quietly damages your heart, your brain, and your kidneys. By the time you notice, it might be too late. The same goes for diabetes, cholesterol, or even certain cancers that can be caught early. I once spoke with a man who avoided the doctor for nearly a decade because he felt healthy. When he finally went in, he discovered advanced prostate cancer. He told me, "If I had just gone in sooner, I might have had more options." That's a heartbreaking reality far too many people face. But here's the uplifting part. Catching things early can literally save your life. Regular checkups, blood work, eye exams, and even dental visits are not inconveniences. They're lifelines. Think of them as preventive maintenance that keeps your body running smoothly for years to come. And it's not just about disease. Regular visits help you keep track of your medications, your weight, your bone health, and even your mental state. All things that matter for living longer and living better. So don't avoid the doctor out of fear. Flip the script. See each appointment as an act of self-love, a way of saying, "I want more years, and I want them to be good ones." Let's pause here for a moment, because I want you to really take this in. By now, we've talked about 6 of the biggest mistakes seniors make. Not moving enough, neglecting nutrition, isolating socially, ignoring sleep, overlooking mental health, and avoiding checkup. Each one might seem small on its own, but together they create a dangerous storm that steals years of life and replaces them with illness, weakness, and regret. But here's the empowering truth. It's never too late to reverse course. Even if you've been making these mistakes for years, starting today, small steps can create a huge difference. Walk a little more. Add color to your plate. Call a friend. Go to bed a little earlier. Share how you're feeling. Book that appointment you've been putting off. Because here's what I've seen time and time again. When seniors start addressing these habits, the transformation is incredible. Energy comes back. Smiles return. Independence grows. And most importantly, the years ahead become not just longer, but brighter. So let's keep building on this momentum, because there are still more lifestyle choices we need to uncover, the ones that might surprise you the most. We've already gone through 6 of the biggest lifestyle mistakes that can cut life short, but there are still 2 more that play a huge role in how long and how well you get to enjoy the years ahead. These are mistakes that often fly under the radar, but when you look closely, you realize just how much damage they do over time. The 7th mistake is not staying hydrated. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Drink water. But here's the reality. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes weaker. You might not even feel thirsty, yet your body is running on empty. And when that happens, dehydration creeps in silently. Dehydration in seniors is no small thing. It can cause dizziness, confusion, constipation, kidney problems, and even increase the risk of falls. Think about that. A simple lack of water can make you lightheaded, which could lead to a serious accident. And yet, so many older adults sip only a cup or 2 of water a day, maybe relying on coffee, tea, or soda instead. I remember chatting with a woman named June who admitted she hated drinking water because it felt boring. Instead, she stuck to her daily coffee and an occasional glass of juice. She often complained of fatigue and headaches, and her doctor eventually told her she was chronically dehydrated. Once she made the effort to drink more water, adding slices of lemon and cucumber to make it enjoyable, her energy levels improved dramatically. Here's the thing. Your body is about 60% water. Every cell, every organ, every joint relies on it. Water carries nutrients, regulates temperature, cushions your joints, and even helps your brain function. When you skimp on it, you're starving your body of one of its most basic needs. So how much should you drink? A general rule of thumb is about 8 cups a day, but this can vary depending on your size, activity level, and even the weather. Soups, fruits like watermelon, and vegetables like cucumbers also count toward hydration. And if plain water feels dull, flavor it naturally with citrus, berries, or herbs like mint. Think of drinking water as one of the easiest, cheapest ways to add years to your life. A glass of water may not seem powerful, but over time, it's like giving your body a tune-up every single day. Don't let dehydration steal your strength or shorten your years. Stay ahead of it. The eighth and final mistake might surprise you, because it's not about what you eat, drink, or how much you move. It's about losing your sense of purpose. This is something I've seen time and time again. A person retires after decades of work, or their kids are grown and out of the house, and suddenly they don't know what their role in life is anymore. Without purpose, the days feel empty. Without something to look forward to, motivation fades. And when motivation fades, health often goes with it. Studies have shown that seniors who have a strong sense of purpose actually live longer. It could be anything: caring for grandchildren, volunteering, gardening, writing, mentoring younger people, or even just committing to staying healthy for yourself. Purpose gives you a reason to get up in the morning. It keeps your mind sharp, your body active, and your spirit alive. I think of a man named George who retired at 65. For the first year, he loved the freedom. But slowly, boredom set in. He watched more TV, moved less, and admitted he felt useless. Then one day, his daughter asked if he could help tutor her neighbor's kids in math. That small request lit something inside him. He began tutoring regularly, then started a small volunteer group helping kids with homework. Suddenly, he was full of energy again. He laughed more, felt healthier, and told me, "Having a reason to give back gave me my life back." Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It just has to mean something to you. Maybe it's nurturing a garden, learning a new skill, or becoming the storyteller of your family's history. Maybe it's traveling to places you've always dreamed of. Maybe it's as simple as being the person who calls your friends to check in and brighten their day. Here's the truth: without purpose, life feels shorter. With purpose, even an ordinary day feels rich and full. And that richness adds not just years to your life, but joy to those years. So there you have it, the 8 biggest lifestyle mistakes that quietly shorten seniors' lifespans. Moving too little, neglecting nutrition, isolating socially, ignoring sleep, overlooking mental health, skipping checkups, not staying hydrated, and losing your sense of purpose. Now I want you to pause for just a moment and really think about this. Which of these mistakes have you fallen into? Be honest with yourself, because awareness is the first step to change. And the beautiful thing is, none of these require drastic, impossible changes. Every one of them can be turned around with small, consistent actions. You can move a little more today than you did yesterday. You can choose a colorful salad over processed food. You can call a friend, go to bed earlier, or drink an extra glass of water. You can book that checkup you've been putting off. And most importantly, you can give yourself permission to chase purpose again, no matter your age. I want you to remember something: age is not a sentence. Just because you've reached 60, 70, or 80 doesn't mean your story is written. You are still the author of your days. You still have the power to make choices that add energy, meaning, and years to your life. And if you're sitting there thinking, "But I've already wasted time making these mistakes," let me tell you, today is the youngest you'll ever be again. Today is the perfect time to start. Your body is listening. Your mind is listening. And your future self will thank you for every step you take now. So I encourage you, start small, start today, and keep going. Don't let these common mistakes rob you of precious years. You deserve to live fully, laugh often, and wake up excited for the days ahead. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these lifestyle changes feels most important for you right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical, uplifting tips on senior health and wellness. Because here's what I believe with all my heart: No matter your age, you can choose to live with energy, connection, and joy. Here's to living your best life at any age, and to many, many more happy years ahead.